Good morning and welcome. My name is Freddy Ceja, and I'm part of Senator Maria Elena Durazo's team. I will be laying out the instructions for you to make the most of today's program. Buenos días y bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Freddy Ceja y soy parte del equipo de la senadora estatal María Elena Durazo. Para todos que necesitan traducción, por favor, tienen que marcar al 877-226-8164 y entrar la clave 714-3488. Delia estará disponible para traducir toda la presentación. For those who are Spanish speaking only, we have set up a translation call-in number. That number is 877-226-8164, and the PIN is 714-3488. If you need any of that information, my colleagues are on Facebook Live, providing you that information in the chat area. We will start with Senator Marilena Durazo, followed by a PowerPoint presentation by Cesar Valladares, representing the California Economic Development Department, EDD. And then we will get to questions that have been submitted to us by you, the public. We are now broadcasting live under State Senator Marilena Durazo on Facebook and our Senate website at sd24.senate.ca.gov. You will be able to make comments and ask questions to Senator Durazo's staff on Facebook Live under the comment section. If you need a link to a website or general information, please feel free to ask there. We have staff on hand to answer your questions. Do not, and I repeat, please do not at any time share your personal information during this broadcast. That includes your social security number, address, or phone number. We will not have the opportunity to answer all your questions on this program, but we will answer as many questions as possible during the Q&A session. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to State Senator Maria Elena Durazo.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Freddie, for joining us today. I am your state senator, and I represent the areas of Hollywood, Koreatown, Pico Union, downtown, Northeast LA, and East LA, including Boyle Heights. In March, our government made the bold decision to stop the coronavirus from spreading. In the name of controlling the number of people getting sick and dying, we asked you to shelter at home. Those decisions led to businesses closing and millions of Californians losing your jobs. Every day, hundreds of thousands of people filed for unemployment insurance benefits. And every day we started to get calls to our office. I felt it was important to host an online town hall on unemployment benefits to hear directly from our EDD staff what challenges we have faced and what we are doing to solve the problems. The truth of the matter is that no one anticipated our economy would come to a complete stop because of COVID-19. Let me assure you that the department and the state legislature is well aware of the situation. We've invested additional financial resources into the department to staff up and turn those claims around a lot faster. We are going to get through this pandemic. We will figure out the bottlenecks that get in the way of getting the money you are entitled to get. Finally, please remember to fill out your census forms. The only way California will get our fair share of federal money is if we can show the total number of all residents living in California. And I want to thank Labor Secretary Julie Su for working so hard to get you your money. Now, let me introduce Cesar Valladares, Deputy Division Chief for the Employment Development Department. He oversees programs in partnership with unemployment insurance, local and state agencies, and organizations that deliver employment and training services. Cesar?
Thank you, Senator. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to take this time before we start to just thank the Senator Durazo and her team. Thank you, Senator, for your leadership and for inviting the Employment Development Department here at EDD to participate in this afternoon's virtual town hall. This is a great opportunity for the department to connect with your constituents and to share some of the important information about the CARES Act and how it relates to the unemployment insurance program, which I'll be referring to UI. We realize that being unemployed is new to many, and I hope that this short presentation provides a basic understanding of the benefits and the resources available to navigate throughout this pandemic. At the end of the formal presentation, as Freddie has shared, we'll have time to respond to some of your advanced questions. And I'll be sharing my screen here. If everyone can see now, you'll see the first slide of the unemployment insurance and COVID. Is that correct? Does everyone have that?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, most of the frequently asked questions that we receive is about the impact of COVID on the economy. So we're going to start here. Since the pandemic began in California, which for most of us started back in March the 14th, the department, as you can see some of the statistics here, we've processed regular unemployment claims over 4.9 million. PUA, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance claims, we've processed over 700,000. This is a combined claims over 5.6 million. And the department has paid over 22 billion out in benefits. I'm sure you're aware of the current unemployment insurance rate in California, but if not, it's also there. It's currently at 16.1%. So to put this into perspective, the department has processed over 5 million claims and paid over 20 billion in benefits during the first few months of the pandemic. That's almost 7 times as many claims as were filed during the height of the recession. Unlike the Great Recession, which evolved over time, the pandemic was sudden, and it felt like for some of us, the carpet was pulled underneath us. Fortunately, the department has been planning for another downturn in the economy for many years by upgrading the systems, providing online options for everyone, and making our work process more efficient. Even with this degree of planning, additional steps were needed to and have been taken to quickly address this historic volume of unemployment claims. So to help manage through this crisis, the department has redirected over 1,000 of our staff from other branches to serve our unemployment insurance branch. We've hired over 900 new staff, and we plan to hire an additional 4,800. And I'll give more information on that on the later slides, how you can apply if you're interested. The department has also simplified some of its processes to file the claims and to pay faster. It's adding new programming into the systems. It's automated a lot of our manual process. It's upgraded our servers to handle the high volume of calls. And it's established the UI Online Assistance Center for technical help. And I'll talk about that later, but that's available 7 days a week. And recently we've implemented text messaging. So some of the constituents have been receiving some text EDD alerts. Just to let you know, it is from us. It notifies you when you're receiving your payment or when you file for benefits. And I'll touch upon that on the next slide. One of the key components of any economic recovery is the robust unemployment insurance system and program, and the coordination between the federal government and for additional resources, such as the CARES Act. The CARES Act for unemployment insurance consists of 3 components, and I'll briefly touch upon those. That's the first bullet there, the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation, referred to as the PAC, Pandemic Additional Compensation. That pretty much is the 600 stimulus payment that's going on a weekly basis. The second bullet point there is the 13-week extension, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation. And the third bullet is the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. That's 39 weeks of benefits for those who don't usually qualify for unemployment insurance, such as the independent contractors, sometimes they're even referred to as the gig workers, the 1099s, the self-employed. So let's go deeper into these 3 components. As I shared previously, the $600 weekly stimulus payment is automatically added to your weekly benefit amount. So for example, if you had receiving a weekly benefit amount of $100, this additional 600 stimulus is added, so you get $700 as an example. It's applicable to almost all the unemployment insurance claims, Those are regular UI claims, the PUA, work sharing, and the extensions. But here's a key to this. Until we hear further from the federal government, this 600 stimulus will apply from March 29th, 2020 through July 25th, 2020. And I always like to restate that because we've received some questions asking how long would this be, but it's scheduled through July 25th. Now we're going to cover the pandemic extension, which applies to all of the claims except for PUA. This extension provides an additional 13 weeks of benefits, and it's filed automatically if your claim began and or after June the 2nd. This is a 13-week extension, but then for clarification, normal claims are 26 weeks. And with this additional extension, that's 13 weeks, you have a 39 weeks extension of your benefits. So the 13-week extension of unemployment benefits started May 27, which is last week. The department began automatically filing these extensions for those who've already exhausted all their benefits on their claim, and or expects the first phase to be completed early in June. You would, or you should have received a notice through the mail. If not, please be patient with us. It should be there within 5 to 7 days of when your extension is filed. The notice will also include how to certify for your extension benefits payments if you remain unemployed. And again, we put the date there to let you know that the $600 weekly stimulus applies through July 25th. As with, I hope you can see that. Here's the latest on PUA, which is short for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, PUA. Benefits for customers that usually do not qualify for regular unemployment. So this is a new program that we started filing late in April. Again, as I shared with you, these are for individuals that are self-employed, independent contractors, those individuals that were normally not eligible for unemployment insurance benefits, or individuals who lost their work due to COVID-19. This PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, it's up to 39 weeks of benefits, and there is no waiting period, which means when you had filed a normal claim, you would have to wait 7 business days. Here, there is no waiting period. We're trying to get these payments out as soon as possible. This Pandemic Unemployment Assistance PUA applies from February the 2nd through December 26th. It includes the additional 600 stimulus monies, and we started receiving these benefits late April. They are retroactive until when you became directly impacted by COVID-19. Benefits cannot begin prior to February the 2nd, unfortunately. And the weekly benefit amounts range for this PUA from 167 up to 450 a week. In addition, like I said, the 600 stimulus is applied to that. So everyone is receiving $161 per week. The second phase of PUA, your weekly benefit amount would increase. It's all based on what you reported back in 2019 in your net income. As with anything that is fluid, it's always important to stay informed. So let's take a look at the newest upgrades that the department has done to better serve you and inform the claimants. Here's some of the things that we're doing to keep individuals informed and while we're using modern technology. Text messaging. Yes, you've been receiving some messages from our department, which is just to notify you when your claim has been entered into the system and when you're receiving your first payment. Even now, we're starting to text when we've received from some of you, identity documentation that we've requested, like your Social Security, passport, or California ID to verify. We are now texting you when that information has been coming in. To keep you well informed, we have our UI Online email reminders that go to your email address, the one you've provided to us, and remind you when you have to certify for your benefits. We also now have a virtual agent. It's on our homepage on the bottom right-hand side. It provides general information. It's a chat box, and you can ask some questions and the system will route you. We have our UI Online Assistance Center that's available 7 days a week from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. These representatives answer questions that you may have regarding the customer account numbers. Did you lose it? I forgot my passcode. How do I register? And they're there to assist you on that. Not specific to unemployment claims and to file, but rather how to help you navigate through the system, or to help you reset your password, or to help you get your CAN, which is the customer account number. Our vendor, Bank of America, who provides the Visa cards, is also sending alerts when a deposit has been made to your card and you have a low balance. Part of being well informed is having resources, and here are some tools that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, our online webpage where you can file a claim, get more information on the CARES Act, and even we have resources there for you on COVID-19 updates. And we also have a recorded webinar that's updated on a weekly basis. And that title is Assistance Programs for Workers During COVID-19, very similar to what I am presenting this afternoon to you. You can go to that website. You have our UI Online system, where if you need to reopen a claim, if you need to certify for your benefits, you can do that online. If you choose to use the method of mailing your claim form with a stamp, you're more than welcome to, but we prefer you doing it online because it certifies instant, and it helps you get paid as soon as possible. And we also have our self-service phone line. That's an 866 number that's provided there, 333-4606. It allows you also to certify for your benefits using our telecert. So you have 3 options to certify. And it also gives you a quick update on when was the last payment if you needed that information. These are our general phone numbers that we have available from 8 in the morning to 12 at noon in different and multiple languages: Vietnamese, Spanish, English, even for our deaf and hard of hearing population. We have our help with UI Online. That's where we have representatives there available 7 days a week from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, as I shared with you previously. And again, our UI self-service line number, that's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you. I wanted to quickly inform you as well, if you're looking to get back into the workforce, if you're thinking of, I need some resources of employment opportunities, job matching, where do I go? Well, within the Senator's district, there's multiple American Job Centers. These are one-stop, formerly known as one-stop centers, where we provide information and assistance for special populations like veterans, youth, individuals that have been laid off due to trade acts. We're starting to gear back up on having employer recruitments do virtual, but these centers are available to you as well within the jurisdiction and the district of the senator. I know we have one American Job Center on Whittier and Atlantic. We have several on Mid-Wilshire, Koreatown. We have a couple near downtown. So those are available to you, and you can get additional information on our homepage of how to look for the local AJCC as you type in your address. And like I shared with you earlier, the state is hiring over 4,000 positions available, employment program reps, office technicians, even accounting positions. I highly encourage you to share this information for someone who may be interested or is looking for work, and they can go to calcareer.ca.gov to put in more information on that. Again, that's calcareers.ca.gov. They can create an account, search, and then take the exam if they should need to and share this information with others who would be interested in these opportunities.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Cesar. I know you get regularly asked if copies of the presentation are available, and the answer is yes. But because the information changes on a daily basis, a new PowerPoint presentation is uploaded daily on EDD's YouTube channel. So I think we are now ready for our questions and answers. These are questions that came directly from you through the registration forms. We'll get through as many as we can with the time that's most of our time will be dedicated to these questions. I've also asked members of our staff, our field team, to present questions. And there are others on Facebook. But some of the staff who work very hard on your behalf are with me today: Veronica Cázares, Williams Lopez, and Baitzar Tomasian. So let me start with the questions that have come from you. First is we have a resident from Chinatown who asked the following questions, and Mr. Valladares will be answering. Why are student workers being denied unemployment?
Well, good question. Again, Senator, thank you for this. I just want to make sure that the general public, your constituents, know that just because of confidentiality reasons, we can't answer specific questions, but you've been generous enough to have your staff take down additional information and we'll get back to them. So your first question, yes, I believe it's why student workers are being denied. Well, in most cases, the students do not have enough wages to establish a regular UI claim. However, as I shared in the presentation, they could be eligible for PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, since they have some limited work history. I encourage them to file. And I'm going to always say this: everyone in the department would always encourage that individual to file and let the department make that decision.
Okay. Next question comes from a resident in Boyle Heights. And the question is, my penalty was waived and I am now receiving unemployment. How do I get back pay to the beginning of my claim? I have called hundreds of times to EDD and I cannot get through.
Yeah, I apologize for, not picking up and exercising their patience. But first, I would suggest that the constituent check the notifications section. That's the notification section on their UI Online account. And they can do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to see if those weeks are available for certification. And if they are, they can certify immediately. If there is nothing under the notifications tab on UI Online, then they need to send a message, using the Contact Us link on our homepage.
Okay, thank you. A constituent from East LA asked, I need to cancel my claim. I can never get a representative to attend to my call.
Yeah, I would recommend that this constituent just go to our online as well, the UI Online account, and send a secure message. It wouldn't take no more than 5 minutes. They go in, they probably already have their customer account number. They can just send in a message and just tell us, I need to cancel this claim. And that will suffice.
Okay. A resident from Pico Union asked, just returned to work part-time, 16 hours a week. It's my understanding that I will have reduced UI benefits, but still maintain the $600 a week. If the EDD rep could walk us through the process of certifying our weeks when we have gone back to work, that would be great.
Yes, well, first of all, glad to hear that they found some part-time employment. I'm really happy. I think we're all happy on that. We do have on our homepage available videos on how to report wages, and actually they're in multiple languages. I know for sure they're in English and Spanish, and then YouTube has a library of them. Also, if they were paid hourly, all they need to do is to report the total number of hours that they've worked and the income that they received. and that would suffice, that information.
There's a part of that question, I don't know if that's included in your answer, but would they maintain the $600 a week?
Yeah, they should maintain that, but they have to report those hourly wages because it'll probably be reduced their regular weekly benefit amount.
Okay, great. The next question is, a resident in Echo Park asked, is a person whose work permit expired allowed to collect unemployment?
Those are good questions. Yeah, you can only collect UI benefits providing you're in satisfactory immigration status and have the right to work in the United States. So once, for example, work permit expires, unfortunately, you're no longer eligible for those benefits unless it's extended.
Okay. Which is why we're working on other funds to be made available in the safety net. Next question is, a resident in Chinatown asked, I had to verify my identity with the EDD and I have not heard anything back for 6 weeks. How do I check to see my documents were received? How long does it take for the EDD to verify someone's identity? How will I know if there is additional information required? And who can I contact with questions I have regarding the status of my case?
Yeah, good question. The department, like any constituent, they take their identity very seriously. So before this pandemic, it would typically take 10 business working days. But now that we're getting more potential ID frauds, it's going to take at least 3 to 4 weeks, providing that we can verify the information. I would recommend, Senator, that this constituent send a message through our UI online to check for their status now, if it's still been over 6 weeks.
Okay, so all of that's included in the amount of time that you're talking about, right? Verifying and
Yes.
and the contact. Okay. Next, I want to turn it over to Baitzar, please, to ask some more questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Baitzar Tamasian. I am the deputy for Senator Durazo, and I'm watching the comments right now on Facebook, and I hear and see your frustration. We are 3 deputies in this office, and we have hundreds of cases coming through. And as you heard Cesar, the state is trying to hire a lot more people to handle all of these cases. So bear with us. As I said, my name is Baitzar Tamasian. I handle East Hollywood, Los Feliz, and Hollywood area for Senator Durazo. Thank you.
Question.
The first question comes from Pico Union. What should people with out-of-state income in the past 24 months do to access unemployment insurance when the former place of employment is not open due to COVID? I submitted my claim in March and have not received any payments yet. My former employer has not yet received any employment verification forms either. The situation has become dire.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. If all their wages were earned in another state, they're going to have to file with the other state. However, if they worked in California, whether a day, a week, a month, at least one of or the other state, they can do the following. They can, number one, file an interstate claim. Again, that's an interstate claim, and collect from each state, but they're not all at the same time. Or they can do the second option, which is call our department and file a combined wage claim. The department will guide this constituent in the right direction to get their highest benefit amount, because they'll look at the 2 wages from the separate states. If they've already done this, if this constituent has already done the aforementioned, then I suggest that they send a secure message and just say, look, what's the status on my interstate claim? It's been a few weeks now.
Thank you, Cesar. Our second question comes from Pico Union as well. What can those who still haven't been paid due to penalty weeks from years ago do to receive their funds? Instructions said to have been sent out but it's June and most have not received anything.
Well, while you would not be able to collect on a regular UI claim until the penalty weeks have been served, you would be eligible for the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. The fastest way to file is through online. If this constituent filed a claim prior to April 28th, they'll need to refile. So if they filed a claim prior to April 28th, they're going to need to refile.
Our next question comes from El Sereno. If I was denied for not verifying my ID, is there a way that I can appeal? What options are available to submit an appeal?
Absolutely. Whenever the department disqualifies you, you have the right as a resident, as a citizen, to appeal. You have the legal right to appeal any disqualification made by the department. So when they notify the constituent, they usually give them a letter or a form. I recommend that they complete and return the appeal form. Usually gives them 21 days. The address is on the top left-hand side. And just put the reason why they disagree with that decision. It's also available online. You can search it under the DE 1000 forms. If you somehow lost that letter, never got to you, you can go to our homepage and search it using the DE 1000. Use that on your search code. Be sure to include, like I said, the required documentation to confirm your identity when you're responding back to the department so they can resolve this issue. But absolutely, anyone can always appeal a decision.
Cesar, I have to make a comment that it is a little difficult to navigate through the process, but people have to be patient, and we've been working with all of them, but yeah, patience is the key to navigating the EDD system online. The next question comes from Agora Hills. Last year, I worked in California and Colorado. How do I make sure that my unemployment benefits reflect the work done in both states?
Yeah, this reminds me of the similar question of interstate wages. So if all the wages were earned in another state, they're going to have to file with that other state, whichever state that is. However, if this constituent worked in California and at least one or another state, they can do again the following. They can file an interstate claim and collect from the state, but they can't do it both at the same time, or they can call our department to file a combined wage claim. And the department rep will guide them to that certain direction so they can see who would get the best or the highest, weekly benefit amount. They'll look at that. And if they've already done this, I encourage them to send a secure message online.
Our next question comes from our constituent in Wilmington. I can't gain access to my account because the reset password feature is not generating the email I need to reset my password. This continuously happens. I've been trying to get in my account since March. When will this be fixed? Will that affect my unemployment because I cannot certify?
And I apologize that they're having that technical difficulty. I can give them immediately right now the number that they can call. Unfortunately, the people have been calling different numbers and not the direct one, but this one for password reset, it's the 833-978-2511 number. Please call them and they will reset. They'll be happy to reset. It's not going to take that long, the password. Again, that's 1-833-978-2511. And I'm also sharing this number with the senator's office so they have it just in case. Also, to expedite any type of payment process, you can certify, like I shared earlier on the slides, by phone using our EDD telecert. And that's a different number, but you can also certify online.
Thank you. My last question comes from Ram Park Village. My claim shows a status of disqualification, but no reason on why and no mail received clarifying it. I have an available claim balance, so why am I not getting unemployment benefits?
Yeah, anytime that the department sends out messages regarding disqualification, they should have received a notice of why not. They receive, it's called a notice of disqualification in the mail, and it states the reason. But if they haven't received it yet, if somehow it's not there, they have to send a secure message saying, look, I've never received that detailed information of why I was disqualified, because it's time sensitive as well.
Thank you, Cesar.
Hi, everyone. My name is Williams Lopez, and I cover the central and southern portion of our district, which covers the communities of Koreatown, Pico Union, Westlake, MacArthur Park, Rampart Village. And I have a question, Cesar, from a constituent in North Hollywood who asked, I started a temporary job, but was unable to get on the unemployment website to report my work. I continue to receive unemployment checks for those 3 weeks. What happens now? I do not want to be penalized for fraudulent claims, as UI was automatically sending checks whether I filled out the form, online forms or not.
Well, valid questions, but please do not fret. You won't be penalized. To expedite the payment process, the department automatically certifies claimants between March 14th through May. So the best way to resolve this is through Ask EDD. There's a category that they would click on, which is unemployment insurance. Then there's a subcategory that says payments. And then there's a topic, EDD paid me and I need to report wages. That's how they would do that. So again, go to Ask EDD on our homepage, category UI. Then there's a subcategory named payments. And then they can go to the topic, which is EDD paid me and I need to report wages. The department will eventually send them an overpayment notice with the same information on how to repay the overpayments or set up a payment arrangement. It always does that. And I'll send this information also to the senator's office if you need those details.
Got it. And I have another question from a constituent in East Hollywood who asked, can my unemployment benefits be backdated to when I initially applied? What's the process to get my retroactive payments to my last employment date?
Yes, check notifications, which is on your UI online. Click on that tab, notifications, to see if there's any back weeks that they need to certify. If there is, certify them. Just do that as soon as possible so you can get paid. If not, send a message. Send us a secured message. But usually under notification tab, you'll see that there's some pending weeks that claimants have not certified. And as soon as they do them, it gets the ball running.
Got it. I have another question from a constituent in El Sereno who asked, I have 2 jobs. One is at the YMCA, which closed in March due to COVID-19. The second is at a school district. The school year just ended May 29th. When filing out my unemployment form, which job should I put as my first and my major job? Is it going to affect me getting accepted for unemployment?
So they're going to have to report both employers so that the department can provide them with the highest weekly benefit amount. It's to their convenience. What's the highest weekly benefit amount? In fact, the system should auto-populate this information when they apply online, because it pulls up their social and it will pull up the information of their last employers in the last 18 months. If not, they can manually add that into their claim. Because once they apply, we always mail out, by law, we mail out forms and letters, award letters to their residents, to their homes, letting them know that we've filed and to make sure that all this information is accurate.
Got it. And then I have another question from Glendale, a constituent from Glendale. How do I submit a reduced pay claim?
Just report your work and your wages when you certify for your benefits. All they have to do is just report that. They need to report it in the week earned, not when they're paid. So in that week that they've earned that, sometimes the constituents will get confused. Well, they'll say, I haven't received this payment, so I'm not going to put it in. No, it's just very clear. It just says if you worked and earned any wages during that week, please report it.
Yeah. Okay. Another question from a constituent in Montecito Heights. How can I correct a false statement penalty week when I've been applying for jobs and don't owe money to EDD?
Yeah, the best way on that question, William, is the best way to correct is by sending a secure message online.
Secure message. Got it.
Yeah, send a
then
secure message online.
Okay, I have another question from a constituent in El Sereno. If you end up finding a job before my EDD benefits arrive, am I still able to use those benefits?
Absolutely, yes. You can collect up to the day before you start your new job, not after. The day before you start your new job, you can collect them.
Is that it, Williams?
Yeah, and I'll turn it over to my colleague, Veronica Casares.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica Cáceres. I cover the east side of the district as well as northeast, the northeast. Just to mention a few of the communities I cover, it would be East LA, Boyle Heights, City Terrace, all the way to Garvanza, Cypress Park, Mount Washington, all the way to Larchmont and Silver Lake, to mention a few. So my first question comes from a constituent in Silver Lake. Will the $600 per week federal money continue after July?
We don't have that information right now, Veronica. So at this time, I would say no. But this may change tomorrow. This may change this afternoon. And maybe the senator knows something else that, they may change it later on. We are hoping, but as for right now, we're just saying the answer to that would be not at this time.
And do we have?
We sure are fighting for it. That's really important, and it would be helpful for everybody who wants this extension to contact your members of Congress.
So my next question is from someone in Mount Washington. Why am I on pending status for 2.5 months of unemployment?
Well, there could be an issue that's preventing payment. So that's a very unique and specific question. If Veronica, if they can escalate that to your office, and I'll look into that. Because it looks like there's something preventing that payment, and we want to make sure that they get paid if they're due as soon as possible. So after this, maybe we can look into it.
Okay. So next question is from Atwater Village. What happens when your regular unemployment benefits are exhausted or hit zero? When do the 13 weeks of EDD extension become active?
Okay, so if you're on a regular unemployment claim and it was filed on or after June the 2nd, the department will automatically file the extension when they have a zero balance. The department will either text them or they're going to send them something on how to certify at home. Again, we just implemented a new texting feature. So whenever they're automatically doing the extensions, they will receive a text. If the claim was filed before this date, then before the June, then they're going to have to file a new claim.
Okay, next question. It's from a constituent in El Sereno. How do you determine how much a person receives?
Yeah, good question. It's based on your highest quarterly earnings during the last 18 months. And we do them by quarters. So we go back 18 months. And you can check this online in our homepage. If you click on the search feature, enter UI benefit table, it'll actually give you the boxes of the quarters and what you earn, so you can see what you would be qualified for.
Got it. Okay, next question, East Hollywood. I filed for unemployment in early April. I received an award letter. I received my EDD Bank of America card and have certified for benefits for 8 weeks so far. I have not received any money. How can I resolve this issue? I've tried calling and emailing and I cannot get a response from anyone.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. The department's debit card is not issued unless a payment has been made. So unless they had their card from a previous program like unemployment, disability, or the paid family leave claim, in which case they use the same card, we would have to figure out, what occurred here. And I wanted to clarify because the department is not only looking at the unemployment insurance, the department program runs disability, workforce services, paid family leave. And if someone applied for disability or paid family leave in the last 2 years, that EDD debit card from Bank of America is still good for 2 years. Sometimes they lose it and they would have to call Bank of America directly to see, what's going on with my card. or if there's having some issues on recurring direct deposits, or it's not whatever the card may have. And I can get you that number. I got to look for it real quick, but I can send it to Freddie as well if they need that card. If not, if they're still having issues, then I think this would be a situation where you can escalate and then forward it to me, and we'll figure out what's happening now. Because if we've already paid and maybe the bank hasn't issued them the card, then we just have to figure out what's the next step for that claim.
Okay, so my last question, it's from a constituent in Little Armenia. How do I contact EDD about claims? I keep calling and no one is ever able to answer the phone. So what are the next steps?
I'm not sure what kind of claims this constituent is referring to. Again, it could be a disability claim, it could be paid family leave or unemployment. I would presume it's unemployment. I would recommend send a secure message and just say, look, here's my situation. I'm sorry, but just the question is a little, I'm not sure what claim they're referring to, but if it is unemployment, just send a secure message. It'll ask him for details, and they're quick on responding to those email messages.
What about if the secure message is not working? Because I know a few people have mentioned that it's not working as well.
Oh, that's news to me. Yeah, we're pretty good on that secure message. And there's a group that answers those emails. If they're having issues with that, I would say have them call their local American Job Center and ask to see if they can hopefully make an appointment to speak with an EDD rep. And perhaps we can schedule an appointment to have them do a specific call with unemployment insurance. It all goes by case.
Okay.
But thank you for letting me know, Veronica, because I had not been aware that there were some issues with the secure messaging.
Well, those were my questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we've got a few more. Mr. Valadares, this is a resident in City Terrace. How can I get my EDD CAN?
Yes, that's the customer account number. Again, I would recommend that they call our specific number to just the CANs to retrieve those numbers. That's the 833-978-2511 number. Again, that's 833-978-2511 number. And they'll be able to retrieve that customer account.
Okay, a resident from Thai-Town asked, I make more money with my 1099 than my W-2. Yet I'm forced to use my W-2 for my unemployment, putting me way below my actual income. I have friends who are making more on unemployment from the PUA because they were able to just file 1099. A friend on PUA just went from $167 to $433 a week and got back pay from the adjustment. When is the state going to create a 1099 and W-2 unemployment filing?
Good question. The unemployment insurance program is currently structured to always, and that's an absolute, always award a regular UI claim first, regardless if the weekly benefit amount is less than PUA, the PUA. However, the $600, that weekly stimulus, still applies between March 29th and July 25th. Again, current law dictates us. I mean, it tells us that we need to review all the wages within the system and file accordingly.
Okay, and so as far as you know, right now, there isn't the 1099 W-2 unemployment filing, or?
Yeah, that's through the PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. But what happens here sometimes, Senator, is when they file, the system automatically looks at, well, there were any wages through their Social Security in the last 18 months, and it will file that first. If there are no wages, of course, they would automatically put them into the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. Here's an option. If they feel that their 1099 income should not be have been reported on their W-2 wages, then the department can conduct a wage investigation on their behalf. They will have to request that. If the correct classifications for like employee and independent contractor, then we can add that into their income and for their weekly benefit amounts. They just got to keep in mind that the process can take some time because now they're doing additional investigation on their wages based on the level of the claims. There's also, I believe, in our homepage, there's information on payroll taxes. So this can get a little, sticky. Um, I would, highly recommend that you look at those options. Maybe reporting it to the department saying I would want to have a wage investigation because I didn't report it right, or I have more funds in PUA for my 1099.
Okay. So these questions our team put together because they're pretty common. And so we figured we would just lump them together because they come up so much. So the first one is, do I need to certify every week? What happens if I don't certify? And what are the steps for certifying?
Yeah, if you don't certify, you won't get paid. And the certification is done every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. So I encourage them to certify either their claim forms and then mail them. That's one option. Or the second option, like I told, the department prefers doing it online because it's secure and it's automatic and it's instant. Or they can do their telecert. They can call the phone number and actually answer those questions by telephone. So there's 3 options, but it's every 2 weeks. And if you don't certify, you're not going to get payments. And this is why we told people to look into their notifications tab online of their account, because many times they're missing weeks that they haven't certified. And as soon as they certify them, they get paid.
Okay. My social security number is incorrect. How can I correct this? Is there a form available?
They can report it through our UI online. They can also correct it when they receive the original notice of claim file that comes into everyone who's filed a claim. It's mailed to their home. They can handwrite the amendment on that form and mail it back to us. The address is on the top left-hand side. So there's 2 options. The notice of claim award letter that they receive, they can cross that off and mail that back to us and say this information was incorrect, or they can just notify us through our UI online feature.
Okay. And then finally, why are applicants with residency numbers experiencing trouble when applying?
Wow. Well, again, to receive benefits, they have to, well, you do not need to be a U.S. citizen. However, they must be in satisfactory immigration status and have the proper work authorization when they're earning wages and while they're collecting benefits. Typically, the delay occurs when a claim is filed with an incorrect social. So I highly recommend that they verify this information before they receive their application, because then that'll hold up the whole process, and then they have to take sometimes even weeks to to make this correct.
Okay. Okay. Well, this wraps up the questions and answers. Again, we tried to see the whole gamut of questions and issues from anybody who contacted our office. You could see from some of the areas that we got questions from, they're not exactly in our district, but that's okay, because they're the questions that I think obviously would apply to anybody regardless of where you live. I want to thank very much, thank our staff and Cesar for your answers, for being with us. Veronica Williams Beitzar, for helping us with this session and for being the ones that also are in touch with everyone going through these issues. And I want to thank other staff who are behind the scenes, taking the calls, emails, and working really, really hard on your behalf. They report to me every single day how many calls, how they're dealing with them, and what we can do as a team to respond. So Karen Linares Luna, Andy Lopez, and Daisy Villalobos, thank you for your hard work. I hope that today's presentation gave you more information that could help you resolve the issues and the problems and get you back on track. We're trying as your Senate office, as state government, doing our best to speed up the process. Always know that you could call and connect with our staff. We're here to help you very much, help you with whatever that you're going through. So take care, be safe, be healthy. Freddie, you want to wrap up?
Yes, thank you so much, Senator. So we hope this was informative for everyone who participated today. If you feel like your question was not answered and you still have more questions, feel free to fill out a constituent casework form by following the link provided by our staff on Facebook chat right now in the comments section. We will open up a case for you and follow up. And if you don't get a chance to have that link now, I will follow up with email to everyone that RSVP'd, and I'll send you the link directly. This concludes Senator Maria Elena Durazo's Unemployment Town Hall. Thank you for your participation, and we hope to help you resolve your issues soon.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you,
Take
Senator.
care.
Our pleasure.
Be safe.